Have you ever been told that after a certain age, you should avoid lifting anything heavier than a bag of groceries? Perhaps it was a well-meaning neighbor, a cautious doctor, or even a family member who insisted that weight training is too risky once you cross 65. Yet many seniors who take this advice find themselves gradually losing strength for tasks they once handled with ease. Imagine how disheartening it feels when climbing a flight of stairs starts to seem like a monumental effort, or when opening a tight jar lid becomes a frustrating obstacle. These are the daily reminders that your muscles might not be getting the care and activity they truly need. When we consider why muscle strength matters, it's tempting to focus on looking fit or maintaining a certain physique. But beyond appearances, strong muscles provide the foundation for independence and mobility. Activities like picking up your grandchild, carrying groceries, or simply getting in and out of the car all hinge on your muscle health. Let's be clear, this isn't about lifting huge dumbbells or trying to become a senior bodybuilder overnight. It's about maintaining a quality of life where your joints feel supported and day-to-day tasks don't drain all your energy. Many older adults believe that once they pass 65, they should concentrate only on low-impact exercises, like walking or stretching, and steer clear of anything involving weights or resistance. The root of this misconception often comes from the fear of injury or from outdated medical advice that was once widespread. But emerging research and real-life success stories are showing that the no-weight training rule might do more harm than good. In fact, gentle, carefully guided muscle-strengthening exercises can yield tremendous benefits, helping maintain bone density, balance, and overall confidence. Think about it. If you keep hearing that you need to slow down and take it easy, you may end up slowing down too much. Muscles thrive on consistent, moderate challenges. Once you remove those challenges entirely, your body loses its signal to stay strong. The transformation we're about to explore focuses on practical, safe ways to build and maintain muscle strength. We'll look at why resistance isn't the enemy, how you can adapt exercises to fit your comfort level, and how your emotional well-being ties into physical strength. Over the next few minutes, you'll discover 5 key insights that can help you rewrite your approach to muscle health. These insights address common misunderstandings, from the belief that light walking is enough to the fear that any weight-bearing exercise is too dangerous. You'll meet seniors who've seen real benefits by adding gentle resistance to their routines, and you'll learn actionable steps you can start today. By the end, you'll see how shifting away from the myth of no-weight training can open doors to better mobility, greater independence, and a renewed sense of vitality. If you're curious about how to protect and strengthen your muscles without taking on risky routines, stay tuned. You may find that the solutions are simpler and far more rewarding than you ever imagined. As we go along, I invite you to think about your everyday habits and routines. Where could you incorporate a little bit of healthy resistance? Even small changes can become powerful stepping stones to improve muscle strength and overall wellness. Let's start unraveling this myth right now. First, let's challenge one of the most persistent ideas out there, that any form of weight training automatically increases your risk of injury and stress on your joints. The truth is much more nuanced, and countless older adults have found safe ways to engage their muscles without courting pain or damage. Many people assume that weight-bearing exercise must mean heavy barbells and complicated gym machines. In reality, it can be as simple as using soup cans or light resistance bands while seated. Consider the story of Grace, age 72, who was anxious because she had mild arthritis in her knees. Grace believed any form of strength training would worsen her joint issues, so she stuck exclusively to gentle stretching routines. While stretching was good for her flexibility, she noticed her knees still felt weak. Everyday activities like climbing the porch steps to get the mail were exhausting. Grace's outlook began to change after she spoke with a physical therapist who specialized in senior fitness. Rather than avoiding resistance, the therapist suggested a short daily routine with a light resistance band. The exercises targeted the leg muscles that support her knees. She'd wrap the band around her thighs while seated and gently push her knees outward, then release. At first, Grace was nervous about aggravating her arthritis, but she followed a slow, methodical approach. Within a few weeks, she discovered a slight but encouraging improvement in her stability. Over time, her knees felt more supported, and she found it easier to climb steps without that nagging sense of dread. This new perspective underscores an important point. When done properly, resistance exercises can actually protect your joints rather than harm them. The key is to start small and focus on correct form. For instance, if you're standing, make sure your feet are about hip-width apart, knees slightly bent, and your posture tall. If you're seated, choose a chair with good back support and keep your feet firmly on the ground. This ensures your joints and ligaments have the support they need. On an emotional level, embarking on a gentle weight training plan can dismantle the fear that often surrounds movement. There's a profound sense of empowerment in realizing you're not as fragile as you once believed. Imagine walking into the kitchen and picking up a full kettle of water without wincing at the thought of lifting. Each successful repetition signals to your mind that you're more capable than you think. If you're considering trying this at home, remember the principle of micro-progress. Use extremely light resistance in the beginning. Even body weight can be enough. And gradually increase only when you feel stable. Look for simple tools around the house. A filled water bottle can become a makeshift dumbbell, and you can hold on to a countertop for balance. Prioritizing safety and form ensures you're building strength in a way that supports, not strains, your joints. So let's take a moment. Do you ever catch yourself avoiding certain lifting tasks? Think about what everyday items you could use for a little bit of muscle engagement. A small amount of safe resistance might be exactly what your body needs to maintain strength and protect those joints, rather than jeopardize them. Now, building on that idea, another widespread misconception is that walking alone is enough to keep your muscles strong. Walking is certainly good for your heart and lungs, and it can help maintain a baseline level of fitness. But there's a difference between general aerobic health and targeted muscle strengthening. When you walk, you're mostly using certain lower body muscles in a repetitive pattern, and you might be ignoring other muscle groups that are equally essential. Picture Robert, age 77, who prided himself on walking 30 minutes every day. He believed this routine was comprehensive enough to keep him strong. Over time, however, he noticed that tasks involving his arms, like lifting groceries, felt harder. His legs were in decent shape from daily walks, but his upper body and core strength had gradually declined. He found himself struggling to maintain proper posture, and occasionally he'd feel twinges in his lower back from bending over the wrong way. After talking with a fitness specialist at his local community center, Robert learned that while walking was a great habit, it didn't fully address his muscles from the waist up. Encouraged by a group class designed for seniors, he began a twice-weekly resistance routine focusing on his arms, shoulders, and back. Exercises included gentle rowing motions with a resistance band, shoulder presses with 2-pound hand weights, and simple core exercises like standing abdominal contractions. Within a month, Robert noticed that holding a large bag of groceries no longer felt like a risk. The new sense of strength he experienced in his upper body was a revelation. This is why targeted resistance, whether with bands, light weights, or body weight exercises, is so crucial. By systematically working different muscles, you help ensure balanced strength throughout your entire body. In practical terms, that translates to better posture, easier lifting, improved balance, and reduced risk of falls. While walking remains an excellent exercise, pairing it with a basic resistance routine can produce a well-rounded fitness approach. There's also a psychological advantage to engaging in multiple forms of exercise. Variety can keep your mind stimulated, making you more likely to stick to a regular routine. When you see tangible progress, like being able to pick up a heavier can of soup or do an extra rep, it boosts motivation and self-confidence. That sense of achievement might inspire you to try other activities, from gardening to gentle dance classes. A quick tip: if you love walking, consider adding short intervals of upper body exercises during your walk. Stop every 5 minutes to do a few standing push-ups against a wall or bench, or perform arm curls with water bottles. This small change injects resistance work into an already familiar routine, making it easier to adopt. Let's pause here and ask yourself, have you been relying on walking alone to keep your muscles strong? What if you added just 1 or 2 resistance exercises a few days a week? It might be the catalyst that helps you feel more solid, stable, and capable in daily life. Before we move on, take a moment to imagine what your ideal level of fitness and strength looks like. Is it being able to climb stairs without holding the railing or picking up a grandchild effortlessly? Jot that vision down, even mentally. Keeping a clear picture of your goal can help guide you as we explore more about challenging these outdated myths. Now let's look at a third misconception: the belief that muscle weakness is an inevitable part of getting older. While it's true that some muscle loss occurs with age, the rate and extent of that loss can be significantly influenced by lifestyle. Accepting muscle deterioration as unavoidable often leads people to stop challenging their bodies, an action or inaction that accelerates the decline. Meet Harold, age 80, who had a history of an active lifestyle but started feeling weaker in his late 70s. At first, he assumed that life was simply telling him to slow down. He gave up the mild yard work he used to enjoy and avoided carrying his own groceries. Harold's world gradually narrowed. He felt unsteady when walking outside, feared falling, and eventually lost interest in social outings. Feeling discouraged, he visited a local senior wellness fair where a physical rehabilitation specialist convinced him to try a balance and muscle strengthening program geared toward older adults. In the first few sessions, Harold used a chair to support himself while doing light squats, heel raises, and small movements that targeted his core. The improvements were subtle at first, but by the end of the second month, he found that standing up from a chair no longer required him to lean on his arms. This seemingly small change was monumental for his confidence. Realizing he could recover some of his lost strength made him see aging in a completely different light. The science supports this. Muscles can adapt at virtually any age, as long as they're regularly and safely challenged. This doesn't mean you'll gain the muscle mass of a 30-year-old, but consistent, moderate resistance training has been associated with better functional abilities, improved balance, and even enhanced mental health. When you resist the notion that you're past the point of building strength, you free yourself to explore what your body can still achieve. On an emotional level, this shift in mindset can be transformative. Instead of dreading each birthday as a step toward physical decline, you start viewing it as another opportunity to learn how to work with your body's evolving needs. Seeing even modest gains, such as being able to walk confidently without a cane, can spark a sense of hope and accomplishment. If you found yourself saying, "I'm too old for that," consider replacing that phrase with, "I'll do it in a way that works for me." Look for beginner-friendly classes, online tutorials, or community programs focusing on seniors. These resources often include modifications for balance issues, chronic pain, or other limitations. By customizing exercises, you'll be addressing your specific needs, ensuring your muscles remain as functional as possible. Take a quick self-inventory. What daily tasks do you shy away from because you feel too weak or unsteady? Could a gentle strengthening plan help you regain the confidence to tackle those tasks head-on? Recognizing that muscle weakness isn't set in stone is the first step toward reclaiming the independence many people miss as the years go by. Now that we've handled 3 myths, let's check in. Are you feeling curious about how these insights might apply to your routine? Perhaps a bit of excitement or optimism about what's possible? If so, hold on to that feeling. It's a fantastic motivator. If you're still skeptical, that's okay too. Keep listening. You might find one of the next points resonates in a way that sparks a positive change. Moving forward, let's tackle the myth that all weight training is the same and must be done at a gym. This misconception can dissuade seniors who either dislike the gym environment, can't easily travel there, or feel intimidated by complex machines. The truth is, weight training can happen at home, in a community center, or even outdoors. It doesn't require heavy barbells or specialized equipment, just a bit of creativity. Consider the experience of Linda, age 75, who was apprehensive about going to a gym because of the unfamiliar equipment and younger crowd. She felt self-conscious and feared being judged. Consequently, she avoided all forms of weight training, convinced she'd never be comfortable in that setting. Then a friend mentioned a local park group that met 3 mornings a week. They'd walk around the park, stopping periodically at benches to do a short circuit of resistance exercises. Participants brought their own hand weights, usually just a couple of pounds, or used resistance bands. Linda tried it out, grateful for the supportive atmosphere. After just a few sessions, she not only felt welcomed, but discovered a newfound sense of community. What Linda learned is that the gym isn't the only path to stronger muscles. She began doing small strength circuits in her living room, using objects she already had, like a broomstick for balance exercises, or small weighted balls for arm curls. She even kept a pair of lightweight dumbbells near her sofa, doing a few reps while watching her favorite TV programs. Over time, the stigma she'd once attached to weight training vanished. She started to think of it more as movement with a bit of resistance, something she could incorporate into her day without a second thought. Beyond convenience, training at home or in a group setting you enjoy can improve consistency and motivation. You're more likely to stick with a plan that feels comfortable and accessible. Some seniors find that group classes or small gatherings help them stay accountable. Others prefer the privacy of home workouts. Whichever route you choose, you're still reaping the same essential benefits: stronger muscles, better stability, and improved daily function. Emotionally, discovering alternative spaces to work out can boost self-esteem. You're no longer comparing yourself to the gym rats or feeling overwhelmed by rows of mysterious machinery. Instead, you're focusing on what matters: progress in your own body at your own pace. If you feel limited by transportation, finances, or health conditions that make a traditional gym challenging, consider exploring online resources. Many fitness instructors now offer virtual classes tailored for seniors, complete with modifications. Make a habit of clearing a small space in your living room, or even on your porch if the weather is nice, and set aside 10 to 15 minutes for a simple routine. Over time, these small sessions add up. Ask yourself, how would it feel to transform a corner of your home into a mini fitness space? Would you be more likely to try a few exercises if the setup was easily within reach? If the answer is yes, don't hesitate to give it a shot. Sometimes the biggest barrier is the mental hurdle of believing you need fancy equipment or a gym membership to make real progress. We've now gone through 4 misconceptions that can hold many older adults back from experiencing the full benefits of muscle strengthening exercises. From the fear of joint damage to the notion that you need a formal gym, each myth can limit your options, when in fact, safe and adaptable approaches exist. By this point, you might be wondering, okay, so weight training can be safe and beneficial, but how does this tie into my overall quality of life? Our final myth delves into just that: the idea that strengthening your muscles only matters for physical reasons. In reality, the emotional and mental rewards can be just as profound. There's a common assumption that muscle training is purely physical, a nuts and bolts approach to staying mobile. Yet numerous seniors report feeling more mentally alert, confident, and even happier after incorporating gentle resistance routines. The emotional lift often comes from reclaiming abilities that seem to be slipping away. Let's meet Sandra, age 68, who struggled with anxiety. As she got older, she worried about falling and injuring herself. The anxiety grew to the point where she avoided social outings, especially those that involved uneven terrain or stairs. Her worry about physical frailty was like a shadow that followed her everywhere. She decided to join a beginner's balance and strengthening class on the recommendation of her neighbor. At first, she was hesitant, feeling self-conscious in front of others. But after a few sessions, she noticed something unexpected. Her mood brightened. The class incorporated slow, measured resistance exercises with a focus on breathing and posture. Not only did her balance improve, but her fears around falling began to shrink. This improvement in mood can be partially explained by the release of endorphins and the sense of control one feels when engaging in purposeful exercise. Another key factor is the restoration of self-efficacy, the belief in your ability to handle challenges. Each time Sandra completed a circuit without mishap, it reinforced the idea that she was more resilient than her anxious thoughts had led her to believe. This emotional resilience spilled over into other areas of her life, from handling household chores to accepting invitations she once declined. Many seniors find that strengthening routines offer a double benefit: better physical function and a fresh perspective on what it means to age. Feeling steady on your feet can reduce the stress of venturing into unfamiliar places. Having the upper body strength to carry a small suitcase can open the door to travel you might otherwise avoid. Essentially, each physical milestone can foster a sense of empowerment that bolsters mental well-being. If you've been feeling apprehensive or down about your changing body, consider the possibility that targeted exercise might elevate more than just your muscle mass. It could brighten your overall outlook. Think of muscle strengthening as a way to reaffirm your independence, giving you the confidence to engage more fully with the world. To make this tangible, consider starting with exercises that align your breathing and slow movements, such as chair yoga with light hand weights or a standing routine that incorporates both balance and gentle lifting. Focus on controlled movements and pay attention to how your body feels. Notice any differences in your mood after a few sessions. Often, the mental shift is as rewarding as the physical gains. Now that we've examined 5 major misconceptions, from the fear of hurting your joints to underestimating the emotional power of resistance work, I invite you to reflect on what stands out most. Which idea resonates so strongly you can't help but think, I need to try this? Take that thought and imagine putting it into practice this week. Sometimes the hardest part is simply deciding to begin. Let's gather all these insights into one clear takeaway. Adding gentle, consistent resistance training to your routine, whatever your age, can dramatically support muscle health, protect joints, boost confidence, and even lighten your mood. There's no single right way to do it. The beauty is in finding a method that feels accessible and meaningful for you, whether that's using resistance bands while seated, lifting light hand weights during a walk, or participating in group classes that make exercise feel more social. With these ideas in mind, let's look at where to go from here. Think of the next few weeks as an experiment in possibility. Whether you're starting from zero activity or building on an existing routine, the key is to integrate manageable bits of strength work into your day. Even 5 minutes is a step toward a stronger you. As we wrap up, let's do a quick summary to keep your path forward crystal clear. You've learned that you can protect your joints through proper form and safe levels of resistance. You understand that walking alone might not be enough for comprehensive muscle maintenance, and that muscle loss isn't an absolute given when you're proactive about strengthening exercises. You've seen how flexible and accessible these exercises can be, dismissing the need for an intimidating gym setting. Finally, you've discovered the remarkable emotional and mental benefits that come from reclaiming your physical power. Why does all of this matter right now? Because your future quality of life hinges on the choices you make today. If you're waiting for a better moment, realize that the best time to preserve or build muscle strength is the present. Every small action you take compounds over weeks, months, and years, leading to more independence, reduced risk of injury, and a sense of well-being that radiates into all areas of your life. So what can you do next? Here are a few suggestions to consider based on your comfort level. Minimal commitment. Spend just 5 minutes a day doing a gentle resistance exercise, like seated leg lifts with light ankle weights or air curls with a small water bottle. Moderate commitment. Try a structured 15-minute routine twice a week. You might follow along with a guided video that focuses on seniors' range of motion. High commitment. Enroll in a local or online class that meets multiple times a week. This can keep you accountable and help you track your progress alongside others. Whichever path you choose, share your intention with someone who can support you, a friend, family member, or even an online community. Accountability boosts success. Ask them to check in with you, or better yet, see if they'd like to join you. Strengthening muscles is often more fun and consistent when shared. Remember, no matter what anyone has told you in the past, you hold the power to influence your health trajectory. Aging is inevitable, but how you age is largely up to you. You have agency, experience, and the capacity to adapt. There's genuine freedom in breaking the old myth that weight training is off limits after 65. In fact, it can be the key to feeling more alive and capable than you ever imagined. The next move is yours. Whether you start small or dive right into a class, remind yourself that even the most modest efforts accumulate over time. Embrace the process as an investment in yourself. Here's to building stronger muscles, a brighter spirit, and a richer, more independent life. One gentle lift at a time.